Hello everyone, welcome to the online video tutorial lessons. So due to the country's prevailing epidemic situation, from now onwards we will be doing your sessions online from now on until this situation get relieved a little bit. So anyway, this is your first online session, and today we're gonna discuss about the operating system. Before we finished the class last week, I think week before that, we started operating system. So I'm gonna continue the session from there onwards. So before we continue, let's recap what we have already done. First of all, operating system. So in this lesson, the fifth lesson, what we're gonna discuss is what is an operating system, what are the duties of an operating system, what are the types of operating systems out there. Okay. So for the introduction, there are in a computer system, before we go into the operating system, let's come up from the top, the computer system. So the computer system is consists of hardware, software, meaning the programs and the application programs that you have on, and firmware. Okay, so the computer system is consists of these three components called hardware, software, and firmware. Everything that you can touch can be called as hardware. So there is a common myth that everything that can be touched and seen are only the hardware, but this we are only gonna mention it as everything that we can touch, mean tangible components, are called hardware, because inside the computer also there are other components that you can touch but you cannot see because they are closed. They are inside the computer, they are inside the CPU. Okay, and then we have the ROM, or we call it the firmware. The firmware, they have the instructions on how to control certain hardware. The ROM has instruction on how to control the entire computing system, meaning it turns on your computer, it boots the computer. We call that process booting. So the firmware called ROM has instructions to boot the computer, that is loading the operating system in your hard drive to the RAM, loading the operating system which is in your hard drive to the RAM. Okay, so ROM is also a type of firmware. And what are firmwares? Firmwares are also softwares, but these firmwares, they have instructions to control hardware. Okay, so that is the difference between software and hardware. So let's see what is software then. Software are any program which is given, where the instructions are given through a programming language to carry out a specific computer task. So software is any computer program where the instructions for that computer program is given through a programming language. ඒ කියන්නේ පුතේ programming language එකකින් තමයි instructions දීලා තියෙන්නේ. අපි කියනවා මොනවද, Python, Pascal, C#, J#, Visual Studio, Java. So those sort of programming languages are used to give instructions to do computer tasks. So these instructions are called softwares. Okay, so going now coming up to the booting process. How does the computer turns on? How does the computer boots? Let's watch a video to better understand this process.
It's important to understand the boot process because it provides several key pieces of forensic information and allows you,
in here,
as a forensic examiner, to control the boot process to use forensic booting tools. Let's take a look at what happens when you boot a computer.
And then it starts
when you turn on your computer, the power supply sends power.
You can see
Power on
the
self-test
power
post
and
instructions are stored in a ROM, a read-only memory
BIOS
chip,
is
as
located
part of the BIOS,
in your
or
ROM,
the basic input-output
So
system.
anyhow, when the BIOS
The
gets
post
the power,
runs through a series of
starts a
tests
program
to make
called
sure everything is
power
working.
on self-test.
Most
It
post
checks
sequences
whether all
will
the
have a
hardware
combination
components are
of
working
audible and
correctly.
visual
The
messages
first component
to let you know what
checks
is and isn't
your
working.
video
These are
memory.
the beeps that you generally hear
So
when your computer is
BIOS,
booting
so
up.
the post
The post checks
sends
your
signal
video card.
to a video
At that
memory
point, you will
to
see
check
information from the
whether it is
post on the
working
screen.
correctly. meaning
The
your
post
display
then
unit,
checks
your
to make
monitor
sure it
or
can find a
your
CPU and
display
that it's
unit
communicating.
is working correctly.
Then it
it
tests
sends
your RAM.
signals
This is a
to
very
your
basic check
RAM,
of whether it can communicate with
whether
your
the
RAM.
RAM
Now it
is
checks for
working.
keyboard and mouse.
Afterward, it
Depending
sends
upon the
signals
type of
to the other
keyboard you
hardware
have,
components
you
like
might
the
see the
keyboard, the
keyboard's
mouse,
light
your
flash.
speakers, microphone,
At this
webcam,
point, you would normally see an
and then check
indication on
whether
the
they are
screen
also working
of how you
correctly.
can enter the
You
BIOS
can
setup
see
program
this
on your
process
computer.
if you are using
Each
a
BIOS
desktop
software
which has
vendor will have a
operating
different
system,
keystroke,
Windows
but it is
XP
often either
or Windows
F2,
7,
F10,
95
or
or
the
98.
delete key.
So
This vendor's BIOS
first
setup.
checks for CPU,
This is
RAM,
where important
video
forensic
memory.
information
You
CD
can enter the booting
or a
process
USB drive
by
or even
pressing
from the
F2.
network.
When the post check whether all the hardware components are working correctly and sends that signals that information to the BIOS, then the BIOS goes on to your main boot drive. Okay, the boot drive is where your operating system is located. In your computer, it might be the C drive. In the C drive, there is this component, this location called MBR, Master Boot Recorder. Master Boot Recorder is the first sector of your boot drive. First sector in the sense, you know that your hard drive has cylinders and each cylinder has sectors. In these sectors, you store data. That is how your hard disk is made of. And in this hard disk, in your boot drive, you have the first sector which is called the MBR. MBR is kind of like the receptionist. It knows where all other information, all other applications, all other games and all are, where are they located. So the BIOS go to the MBR and ask for where is the bootstrap loader. Okay, bootstrap loader. So bootstrap loader always stays with the operating system. So what the BIOS do is that BIOS then take the bootstrap loader and then move it to the main memory. When the bootstrap loader is moved or loaded into the main memory, your RAM, main memory is your RAM, the bootstrap loader, it loads the operating system to the RAM, because bootstrap loader is always staying with the operating system. So what BIOS do is that it load the bootstrap loader to the RAM, and the bootstrap loader then load operating system to the RAM. Loading operating system into the RAM is called the booting process. And then, so I hope the booting process is clear for you now. So if you have any concerns, stop the video, go back, rewind, listen again, watch it again, and if you want to take any notes, stop the video, take the notes. Okay. So now moving on, the softwares. So we are not going to discuss about hardwares in this lesson. We have discussed about hardwares enough in our second lesson. So we're going to discuss softwares now. The softwares, we can divide them as system software and application software. System software is the software which controls all the hardware components in your computer and creates a platform for the application softwares to run. So without system software, you cannot run a computer. You need system softwares to run a computer. Okay, application softwares, you just need application softwares for your needs, for the user's need. Computer does not need application softwares, it only needs system softwares. Okay, so the system softwares again can be divided as operating system, utility softwares and language translators. Okay, we're going to discuss one by one in the coming sessions. So the language translators, again we can divide them as assemblers, compilers and interpreters. We're going to discuss them. Okay, so the application software, as I mentioned earlier, are any software which the user install in the computer to fulfill users' need, like games, word processing softwares, office package, web browsers. The computer does not need them, only the user needs them. So system software, as I mentioned earlier, system software are very important for your computer. Without them, you cannot run your computer. So system software, they control all your hardware devices. In other words, it controls the entire computer system, and also it provides a platform for your application softwares to run. System software can be divided as operating system, utility software, and language translators. So, operating system. Operating system, it again controls your hardware and also provides a platform for your application software to work, and also an interface for the user to control hardware. So the operating system controls the hardware, operating system provides a platform for the application software to work, and it creates an interface for the user to control the hardware. So we cannot control the hardware without the operating system. If I say speaker turn on, will the speaker turns on? No. That's why I have the operating system. Through the operating system, I can control my hardware devices. If you look at this chart here, you can see hardware is the core components, and then you have the system softwares, okay, the operating system, utility softwares, and on top of that you have the application softwares. To control the hardwares, for these application softwares to control hardwares, first they have to go through the system software. So if you install Skype or WhatsApp in your computer, they need your microphone, they need your video camera to work, right? To make video calls or to make calls like that. For those application softwares, they need to control the hardware then, your microphone and your webcam. But they do not have access to do that. So what they do is, they go through the system software, and system software provide the platform for the application softwares to control the hardware, or the user to control the hardware. Moving on, now we are coming to the utility software. So utility software is again a system software, and what the utility softwares do is that they make your computer run smoothly. Of course, without utility software you can run the computer. So utility softwares are these virus guard, these defragmenters, these checkers, these scanners, so they fix your issues in your hard drive. The virus guard protects you from the viruses. So even without these utility software, you can still run your computer. But the issue is that if your computer is infected with viruses, then what you're gonna do? Then you won't have a smooth run in your computer. That's why you need the utility softwares. Utility softwares, they analyze, they configure, they optimize, they maintain your computer. So for the example for the utility softwares, we can take the antivirus softwares. They protect your computer from the viruses, malware, spyware, like that. And then the backup softwares. You can create backups of your data by using backup softwares in case your hard disk get damaged, okay? But always remember never to keep your backup in the same computer. Otherwise what will happen is that if the computer hard disk fails or is get burned, then your backup also get burned. You will also lose your backup. Then what is the use of having a backup, right? So you should always keep your backup on a separate hard disk or pen drive, or even in the cloud storage. Okay, then these checkers, they scan and repair errors in your flash drive, in your hard disk and other storage compartments. These defragmenters, we're going to discuss about these defragmenters in the coming sessions also. So generally speaking, these defragmenters, what they do is that when you are storing data in your hard disk and deleting and moving, copying, deleting, installing, when you repeat this circle again and again, there are empty spaces created in your hard disk, location where you cannot store the data, okay? In the sense, to store the data, that space is not enough, so you move on to some other space, and that small space is left over. So there are a lot of spaces like that in your hard drive. When you continue this delete, move, copy, paste, this process continuously for few months, These defragmenters, they take the free space to one side and the filled space to another side, creating more free space in your hard drive. Okay, more space to store data. Then we are coming to the language translators. Language translators. What they do is that now the computer only understands machine language. In the sense, the machine language is ones and zeros. So we do not know ones and zeros. We do not speak machine language. Okay. All the programs, all the softwares that we install in the computer, they are given by using an higher level programming language. So this higher level programming language is in English. They are made using English. So all the instructions that we give in the softwares are in English. You might have seen that. So how does the computer understand this English? When it does not understand any other language other than 1 and 0. That is why we have the language translators. පුතේ දැන් එක්කෙනෙක් සිංහල අනිත් එක්කෙනා තමිල්. සමිල් එක්කෙනාට තමිල් එක්කෙනාට සිංහල තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. සිංහල එක්කෙනාට තමිල් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට මොකද කරන්න පුළුවන්? අපිට පුළුවන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ලේටර් කෙනෙක් ගෙන්නලා දෙන්න අතර sannivedana කරන්න. Same as that, language translators, they allow to translate, they translate our higher level programming language into the machine language. Okay, allowing the computer to understand what we are trying to say. Then we are coming to the application software. I mentioned earlier, application software is any type of software, okay, which is installed in the computer by the user for the user's need. User ge අවශ්‍යතාවය ඉටු කරගන්න තමයි application softwares අපි install කරන්නේ. එතකොට your web browser, the games, the video editing softwares, the video playing softwares, your databases, document, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, the Microsoft package, everything. All those softwares belong to the application software category. Okay. Then we are coming to our main segment in the lesson, operating system. So we have already discussed what is an operating system. If I explain it again, operating system is a software which controls your hardware and also act as an interface between the user and the hardware, meaning allowing the user to control the hardware. Okay, and also our operating system manage our entire computer system, meaning the inputs that you enter input to the computer, how they are processed, okay, how that the process information is stored, how they are given back, how the output is done. Everything is controlled by the operating system. Of course, everything is done according to our needs, so even the operating system perform all these tasks according to the user's need. Okay. Now, if you look at this graph here you have the user, you have the hardware, and in the middle you have the operating system. To control the hardware, user can go through the operating system, and also by using other application softwares, also user can control the hardware. Again, the user can also go through the application software to the operating system, and to the operating system to the other system softwares like virus guard and all, and again control the hardware. Okay, so these are just different ways how the user can access hardware devices. They can access directly through the operating system or through other application softwares and other system softwares. Now, talking about different sort of operating systems out there, okay, the most famous one is the Microsoft Windows. Everyone uses that, but in Sri Lanka we don't use anything free, right? We don't pay anyone. If you go to the communication, we can get Windows 10 for 100 rupees CD. So the Microsoft Windows is owned by the Microsoft company. So this is a proprietary software. Proprietary meaning ඔයාලා සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕන මේ software එක use කරනවා නම්. මේක free නෙමෙයි. මේක සල්ලි දීලා ගන්න ඕන. Okay? මේක දැනට ලෝකේ තියෙන this is one of the oldest operating systems in the world. This is compatible with all your hardware devices. I mean your like most of the 99% of the computers and most of the mobile devices too. Okay, the HTC, the mobile company called HTC, is the first mobile company to build a phone which supports Windows operating system. Now Microsoft has their own production line, this Microsoft Lumia, and Nokia also bought by Microsoft, so they are now coming with the Microsoft Windows operating system as well as Android. So the first one, first graphical user interface from the Microsoft Windows is the Windows 95. With the Windows 95 is where you got Rocky. Where is Rocky? Here. So I have inserted this guy in different location in YouTube. So this guy first came as an assistant, as a your Windows assistant in the Microsoft 95 to help the users to better understand the operating system, because Windows 95 was the most famous graphical user interface. Before that, we only had the command line interfaces. So sometimes the first, when the 95 came out, the users were confused. There are a lot of things, a lot of icons. What should we do? Then the Rocky came, those Windows assistants. So they are kind of like Siri and Cortana. Only different is that we have to ask something from Siri for the Siri to help you. The Windows assistants like this Rocky and Wizard and there are other Windows assistants, so they do not wait until you ask. They just ask you a question whether do you want to do this, and if you click yes, they explain you where to click and what to do. Then coming onwards, before that, Microsoft Windows 10. Windows 10 is not an operating system. Keep that in mind. Windows 10 is not operating system. Windows 10 is an upgrade. Okay, so you need at least Windows 7, 8, 8.1 to install Windows 10. Without that, you cannot install Windows 10. You need these operating systems to install Windows 10. That is because Windows 10 comes as an upgrade. Upgrade එකක් විදියට. ඊළඟට එනවා අපි Apple. Apple, everyone knows, right? Apple සමාගම කවුද හැදුවේ? Steve Jobs. So Apple operating system එක introduce කරන්න Apple Macintosh කියන සමාගම විසින් Apple Mac OS එක විදියට. මේකත් proprietary software එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා සල්ලි දීලා ගන්න ඕන. But the difference between the Windows and Mac OS is that Windows OS එක පුතේ ඔයාලා දන්නවා ඇති Windows Microsoft එකෙන් computers ගහන්නේ නැහැ. Like Dell, HP, Lenovo, Samsung යාලා computers ගහනවා. ඒ ඕන computer එක Windows අපිට දාන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි Mac OS එක දානවා නම් ඔයාට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම Apple computer එකක් අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. So in order to install Mac OS, you gonna need a Apple computer. Okay, the Windows can also be installed in Apple computers. Okay, on the top of Mac OS, there is a way. And now we are coming to the non-proprietary softwares, meaning you do not have to pay. These operating systems are free. Okay, the Linux-based OS we call them. So Linux is a free open source operating system, meaning you can download it freely, you can change it, you can create it, you can make it much, you can develop it, you can create other versions of your Linux, and you can give them freely. Everything which you create by using Linux are free. Okay, so I have given you the link here. You just have to type this in your URL to download Ubuntu, which is based on Linux. Okay, so speaking about Linux, Linux is not a complete operating system. Linux is kind of like the Linux is kind of like the bone structure of humans, right? It's the bone structure. If you take the bone structure, it is the same in everyone. But how do we differentiate humans? The flesh, the skin color, the eye color, the hair curly, straight, thin, the height, the weight. Those components are what differentiate humans from each other, right? In operating systems also, kernel is kind of like the bone structure. Then when you add bunch of other utilities, when you add bunch of other utilities to this kernel, you get an operating system like Hantana Linux, Ubuntu, Debian, Mint, Slackware, like that. So Linux is a kernel. It's the structure. It's the main structure. Okay. When you add other utility softwares like virus guard, disk checkers, and other those utility softwares into the kernel, you get a complete operating system like Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is one of the most famous Linux-based operating system out there. It is free. You can download it freely through this link. And then we have the Android operating system. The Android is developed by the Alphabet. Alphabet is the mother company of the Google. So Android is developed by Google. This Android is also open source software, meaning you can download it freely. Okay, the Google has a separate catch why they are giving Android freely. Okay, why they are giving Android freely is because when you download Android, okay, then you also have to download Google services also, Google App Store and everything. Then everything onwards that everything that you use, everything that you download is through Google. That's why they are giving this Android operating system freely to the users. මොකද පුතේ Android download කරගත්තම Google services ගන්න ඕන, Google services ගන්නවා කියන්නේ අපි use කරන සල්ලි අරම මේ හැම දෙයක්ම යන්නේ Google එකට. ඒකයි යාලා Android operating system එක free දෙන්නේ. මොකද ඒ හරහා එයාලගේ අනිත් products අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් හින්දා. හරි. Now coming on to the type of operating system. So we can differentiate the operating system depending on how the operating system carries out specific tasks, like for how many users it provides services in a given time, but how many tasks it can do concurrently, meaning the same time. Okay, so depending on that, those two criteria, we're going to discuss. We're going to divide operating system into different categories. The first one is single use operating system. Single use operating system, they only do one task and provide services only to one user. On the example like තමයි Microsoft DOS. මේක command line operating system එකක්. ඔයා commands type කරන්න ඕනේ. typing commands type කර කර තමයි operating system එකට instructions දෙන්න ඕන. ඒතකොට මෙතනදී 3-4 දිනෙට 3 or 4 people cannot give instructions simultaneously. Only one person can give instructions. Okay, and one instruction at a time. So the operating system do one task at one time for one user. So we call them single use operating system. One task, one user. Then we get multi-use operating system. The multi-use operating system, they can provide several users services. So they can provide services for several users in the same time. Several users in the same time. So basically they can provide several tasks. They can do several tasks in the same time and provide services to several users. For operating system, example for this sort of operating system are Linux. So Linux, not the Ubuntu, the Linux, the kernel. The Linux kernel is a server software, meaning you can install Linux in a server computer. Server computer provides services to other computers. You can connect to the server and use the softwares in the server and use the other hardware component of the server. So server computers are mostly having this sort of operating system, Linux and Windows Server. Windows Server you have to buy. Linux is a free operating system. So multi-use operating system, they provide multiple users tasks, multiple tasks to multiple users. Okay. Then third one, multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system enable users to perform multiple tasks simultaneously. so they can do multiple activities, multiple operations at the same time. You can play a game while listening to a song and while downloading a music, a song or movie, and also while installing another software. Basically speaking, you can perform multiple operations, multiple tasks at the same time, but this is for one single user, multiple tasks. Examples: Windows 7, 8, 8.1, Ubuntu, Mac operating system, and Windows 10. Then we are coming to the real-time operating system. Real-time operating system, they process the instructions given by the user without any significant delay. So when you input data into the real-time operating system, the real-time operating system processes it without any delay and gives you the output. Like the ATM. When you put on your card to the ATM and enter your PIN number, ATM does not ask you to come tomorrow or day after tomorrow to do the task. ATM කියන්නේ අද මහන්සි හෙට එන්න කියලා සල්ලි ගන්න. No. When you put on the card and give the PIN number, ATM gives you the service, right? ඒ වගේ ඔයාලා inputs දීපු ගමන් ඒවා process කරලා output එක දෙන operating systems වලට අපි කියනවා real time operating systems කියලා. real time operating system කරන task පුතේ අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. මොකද ඒ task ඒවා දීලමයි එවන්නේ. ATM එක කරන දේවල් අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න බෑනේ. We cannot play games by using ATM, right? ATM is only there to get cash and deposit cash and check balance. Those sort of services, right? Okay. Then services of an operating system. Operating system provides two main services. Okay. So those two services are, first one, managing the hardware. Second one, providing user interface or acting as a user interface between the user and the hardware. So first one, managing the hardware. How does the operating system manages the hardware? Operating system manages its hardware through 6 activities, 6 main activities, but actually there are more activities, but we only going to discuss these 6 activities. They are process management, memory management, device management, file management, security management, and network management. So let's discuss one by one. First one. So if you want to write down anything in your tune, just pause the video, write. Okay. So first one, process management. Process. So what we call as a process is a part of program or a program. So when this program is sent to the CPU, the instructions within that program are executed. Okay, so these instructions are processors. So these processors are executed inside the processor. Okay, so write down, process is a program which is in execution. So any program which is in the CPU at the moment is a process. Okay, if a program is in the CPU, meaning it is currently running, we call it a process. These programs are executed to achieve specific tasks and objectives. So these programs are there to do specific computer tasks. Okay. So in order to a program to complete or fulfill or execute its objective, to do its task, it needs processing time, the memory space of your RAM, and the support of input and output devices. Okay. So with the help of all these things, the programs are executed. Okay, the processors are executed. So when these processors are executed, they go through several states. Several states in the sense, again, the මේ program එක execute වෙද්දී ඒක පාට run වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊට කලින් ඒවා අපි ආරම්භ කරන්න. We have to start them. We have to create new processors. Then you have to run them. Sometimes process have to wait till other programs are done. And programs ඉරනකම් බලන් ඉන්න වෙනවා. CPU එකේ ඊට ගන්න input output devices ඒවා free වෙනකන් ඉන්න වෙනවා. So they have to wait. සමහර ඒවා main memory එකට ගිහිලා බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා CPU එකේ time එක හම්බ වෙනකන්. So they are ready and they are waiting. and there are other processes which have which are finished performing, which are finished executing, so they are terminated, meaning removed. Okay, so ඔන්න ඔය වගේ process එක එක states එක එක තත්ත්වයන් අතර මාරු වෙනවා. හරිද? states කියන්නේ ප්‍රාන්තනේ මේ මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ අපි තත්ත්වයන්. විවිධ තත්ත්වයන් අතර states ඔන්නෝම මාරු වෙවි යනවා. first one is new. new කියන්නේ අලුත් processes. the new process අලුතෙන්ම ආරම්භ කරන process එකයි. කියනවා program එක double click කරලා open කරා. okay, now that is a new process. and now running. running කියන්නේ දැන් මේ process එක ඔන්න මොකද වෙන්නේ? C processor එකට ගිහිලා තියෙන්නේ ආගේ processor එකේ තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේ program එක run වෙනවා. okay, so we call them running. then we have waiting. waiting means they are prepared to run. They are started, but either the processor or the input output devices, they are busy, so this process has to wait. This program have to wait. Ready. Ready means the process is inside the main memory and waiting to be executed by the CPU. So just to clarify the difference between waiting and ready. Waiting means process has started but waiting till necessary resources are available like memory, input output devices and CPU time. Ready means program is inserted into the main memory. So now in the waiting, the program is not inserted into the main memory. Process do not go to the main memory. It stays until everything else is available. In the ready, the process goes inside the main memory and wait till the processor gives it a time to execute. Okay, until the process, okay, you can come now, you can execute until the process says that it waits. Terminate mean now the process has run, it is finished, now it is terminated. It is removed from the processor and also from the main memory. Main memory means your RAM. Okay, in the termination the process is completely removed from your computer. Okay, now in the operating system, it is responsible of managing the activities in regard to the processors. Okay, so when the computer manages these activities regarding the processors, we call it process management. Those activities are creating and deleting processors, pausing and resuming process, meaning stop. Okay, now if there are emergency process comes up, okay, so you have to stop or pause whatever the process which is in the CPU and allow that emergency process to execute. හදිසි AM ටක් ගාලා ආවොත් එහෙම process එකක් මට ඉක්මනට process වෙන්න ඕන කියලා දැනට CPU එකේ තියෙන එක්කෙනා නවත්තලා අරයට process වෙන්න දෙනවා. හරිද? provide synchronization of process. synchronize කියන්නේ මොකක්ද දන්නවද? හරි, මම ඒකට එන්නම්. ඊට කලින් අපි කතා කරමු provide mechanism for process communication. ඒ කියන්නේ process අතර communicate කරන්න මේ connection එක හදලා දෙන්නේ කවුද? operating system එක. දැන් තුන්වෙනි එක process synchronization එක. synchronization කියන්නේ පුතේ දැන් හිතන්න අපි word document එකක් type කරනවා කියලා හිතන්න. හරිද? ඔන්න දැන් type කරන ගමන් මම ඕක print එකට දානවා. මම ඔන්න print ගිහලා print option එකේ ගිහලා print කියලා දෙනවා. හරිද? දැන් ඕක print වෙනවා. print වෙන අතරතුරත් මම word එකේ තව type කරනවා. හැබැයි type කරාට ඒවා අර print වෙන document එකේ වදිනවද? නෑනේ. Why is that? Because the synchronization, එක කියන්නේ අර link එක, the synchronization between those two processes, printing එකයි typing එකයි synchronization එක එතනදී break වෙනවා. හරිද? ඇයි? මොකද printing කියන්නේ separate activity එකක්, typing කියන්නේ separate activity එකක්. තේරුණාද? හරි. එතකොට බලන්න මේ උදාහරණේ. When you press a key, it is being typed on a word document. අපි මොකක් හරි letter එකක් කියවුවම මේක type වෙනවා. හරිද? ඒ එතන synchronization button එකයි word document software එකයි අතර link එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ හින්දා මේ දෙක link වෙලා තියෙනවා. so අපි type කරන එක එතනම අදිනවා. හැබැයි මම ඔය document එක print එකට දැම්මම ඔය synchronization එක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද මේ activities දෙක separate activities දෙක. so the synchronization stops and whatever that we type in the word document will not be visible in the printed document. ඔයාලට මේ කම්පියුටර් එකේ process වෙන activities ටික ඔක්කොම බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් control button එකයි alt button එකයි delete button එකයි එකපාර තුනම එවුවම task manager open වෙනවා. task manager එකේ තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ activities ඔක්කොම ඔයාලට මෙතන බලන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාගේ process වෙන. හරිද? performance abstract users start කරපු startup මොනවාද මේ තියෙන process ඔක්කොම එයාලා GPU එකේ කොච්චර percentage එකක් use කරනවද memory එකේ කොච්චර percentage එකක් disk එකේ කොච්චර data use කරනවද මේ හැම දෙයක්ම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් task manager. control alt delete එබුවනම් ඔක බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? then memory management එක අපි next session එකෙන් කතා කරනවා. එතකොට අදට මෙච්චරයි. notes ටික ලියා ගන්න. තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ආපහු බලන්න. මොන හරි දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් you can contact me. So until the next session, stay safe, stay inside and take care.